Hey, welcome again to another episode of Cardboard Conversations. I'm Pat the Pauper, joined tonight by MTG Gaming Bob. How you doing tonight, fella?
Well, until just a few minutes ago, I was doing pretty good, but my internet seems to not be having a good time.
That seems to be the way of it, when you expect it to do something, that's right when it wants to go out. You thought you had
Right.
5 bars, but no, sir.
And of course, I came down here extra early tonight and started getting things set up for the show and had some,
Yeah.
websites up and all that jazz. And
Yeah,
I guess the MTG gods said nope,
yeah, it'd
they're
just be
playing
better
blue
if you
tonight.
get in. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Well,
playing a control
on
deck.
the other side, though, the MTG gods have certainly blessed us recently with a big news dump. All sorts of incredible things. We're getting previews, spoilers, teasers, what have you. Looks like they've laid out a roadmap, and I just want to drive my wallet right to the end of it. A lot of good stuff on there. Anything in particular you want to start off with tonight, Bob?
I had an epiphany today,
Ooh,
and
lay it on me.
so much so I actually had a long conversation on the phone today with BBD. Poor guy had to
Always a
listen to
great
me
one.
ramble. What's that?
Always a great one. I love long talks with Dave. Wonderful guy, real great to talk to, insightful, not just about Magic, the stuff, but he's lived an incredible life. So, champ.
So I had an epiphany today, and I guess I should give some credit to Dev from the place at SBMTG. If you're not familiar with it, go check him out. It's a great show. I watch it all the time. Really insightful guy, especially when it comes to like standard and new stuff coming out. So I love getting his take on things. And it wasn't anything specific, really, that kind of triggered this epiphany. It wasn't something he said specifically, but he was talking about the new domain mechanic. And maybe it was something that he said. I don't know. It doesn't come to mind. But it made me suddenly realize that triomes should be going up in value, especially the ones from Streets of New Capenna. And I should probably try to find a card from the spoilers. I don't know. Do you have any of the spoilers prepped? Like I said, I lost all my prep work. But anything with the domain mechanic will work.
Real quick.
So just so you all kind of start following where I'm going, if you're not familiar with the domain mechanic can do many things. But the domain mechanic cares about basic land types in play. So it's going to check to see how many of the 5 basic land types you have in play to trigger a thing. For example, there are going to be some creatures that have their power equal to domain. So if you only have forests in play, its power will be 1. If you have forests and islands, it'll be 2, and so on and so on. So it got me thinking, wait a second. Triomes have all 3 land types.
It's a great point, though.
You can literally have full domain on turn 2 with 2 triomes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, certainly easy enough, especially with the different cycles of triomes we now have. The 2 competing cycles in a 5-color deck aren't competing. They're really complementing, in fact.
So, I mean, understand, only the Streets of New Capenna triomes will be in standard, but Pioneer, Modern, if they find some creatures or effects for domain that tickle their fancy, triomes, I think, at least in this case, are going to be better than dual lands, because dual lands only have 2 land types on them. Triomes have 3 land types on them. So again, triomes, I did a video a couple of years ago, or last year, whatever, about the land cycles and triomes from Ikoria. Just absolutely fell in love with them as soon as I saw them. Streets of New Capenna was the most important thing to me, were the triomes in there. So do you have any of the domain cards up? Do you have any of the
yeah, I'm actually trying to pull that up right now.
So if you've got triomes, hang on to them. If you don't, and I'm talking about the new one, the new Triomes and new Capenna, the Raffine's Tower, all that stuff, Zeotor's Proving Ground. I don't remember what they all are, but the Triomes. So we need to find one that's got domain on it.
This one does, but it's also in, I don't know,
Spanish?
French? Nah, is that even Spanish? Day 2? Yeah, it is.
So if we find something that has domain. Oh, was that one that had domain?
Here we go. Whenever Briar Hydra deals combat damage to a player, put X11 counters on target creature you control, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. Wow.
So you can imagine with Triomes, if you've got 2 of them covering the entire color wheel, that's going to put 5 counters on a thing. But domain doesn't just do that. Like if we could try to find some of the other stuff down there, I don't know. Does Cosmic Epiphany have it in there? No. There are some other. They're using the domain. I don't know. Does anybody in chat specifically know some of the domain cards that are out? That I know there's one that, like, if it's in your graveyard.
Here.
Wait, there we go.
When it enters the battlefield, look at the top X cards, where X is domain. Put those cards on top of your library. Put one on top of your library. That's pretty solid,
right? So
ETB Scry 5 almost,
right? So just think about it, folks. Domain is going to make cards that have land types. It's going to make land types even that much more valuable on the cards that have land types on them. And the first thing that came to mind was a daggum Triome. I'm like, oh, yeah, I definitely want to have all the Triomes in my decks now.
That's a great point.
Especially like
combat damage, reveal top X cards, where X is the basic land. An opponent separates them into 2 piles, put one in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. That's pretty solid.
So if you don't have
Flying Ward 2, you're getting a whole lot of evasion on that.
If you don't have Triomes, especially the Streets of New Capenna Triomes, and I don't have very many of those, I'm going to recommend you give serious consideration to going out and getting a full set of Triomes, potentially even a full playset.
That's pretty solid. Create a 3/3 green beast token for each land type among land types you control.
Yeah.
Yowza.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, if you haven't scooped up some Triomes, right now seems to be a wonderful time. While everyone, and I've got to say myself, I'm kind of guilty in this as well, that I've been quite caught up in some of the incredible sets and releases coming out lately, still upcoming as well for the rest of this year, which we'll talk about soon. And on top of that, all these ancillary products that we can get into as well. But there's some great buys right now in the secondary market, and you can get wonderful land base for a really great entry price for fetch lands, Triomes, wonderful additions to many decks like that. You can scoop up right now for the low price of a TCG player affiliate link.
So I'm just going to go ahead and break my arm, patting us on the back here on Cardboard Conversations. I mean, if you've heard somebody else talking about domain and Triomes, the domain Triome connection, let us know. But I'm pretty sure we're the first to break that. We tend to do a lot of kind of like breaking content. And I'm going to say, hey, give us a little kudos for that one. I think that's going to be a thing, at least in a limited context. Understand, this is not like a game breaking mechanic. This is no Oko,
right?
But yeah. It's still a solid, at least thought. You know what I mean? That
this is good. Impede momentum. Okay. Tap target creature, put 3 stun counters on it.
Oh, it's kind of broken.
Wow. With Scry 1 as well. Just attack it on. Jeez Louise. That's going to be a good card.
So, I agree. That card is busted. I think
I'm a big fan
if
of
there was ever a common going to get a ban, I would say that's pretty close to it. That's going to break so many things.
That's going to be really friggin' annoying.
Oh, yeah. Think about it in terms of commander.
Oh, that, yeah.
Like, 3 turns that something's tapped down in commander might as well be exile.
Yeah, that's When people play Mindslaver to steal my stuff, it's almost as bad as when someone plays Shacklegeist, so I get skipped over for a turn. Trelisar is like a 34-34. I want to swing. What are you doing to me here?
I'm just saying, or your Eldrazi or
Yeah.
your Blight
Oh my
Steel.
god.
Well,
Yeah,
it
I'm
only
actually
took you
playing
turn 7 to
Ulamog
get it
in one
out.
of my decks.
Yeah, it only took you till turn 7 to get it out, and now you cast this Joker, and
Yeah,
yeah, you can use it on turn 11 if we get there.
I really like this. I almost wish this were a legendary so that you could use Guardian of New Benalia. I'm a fan of this enlist mechanic. I really like that. And whenever it enlists a creature, scry 2, discard a card, it gains indestructible until end of turn, tap it. Like, that's just a cool little card.
I think it's a good one. I mean, I don't think it's busted. I think it's a strong white card, but it dies to removal pretty much unless you're going to
Pretty
discard.
much.
So, and if you put a -1/-1 or a -2 counter on it, it's it's gone. But it's strong. It's something that has to be answered. That's a great thing when, that Banalish Sleeper, that is a really interesting card to me. That it's a white creature that makes people sack a creature.
I'm sorry, what's that, Bob?
I'm sorry, did I come in chopped up?
No, I just didn't hear you there.
I said the Banalish Sleeper that you have in the middle of the screen there. That's a very interesting sort of. I mean, yeah, it's a black kicker, so yeah, I get it, but it's a white card. It's an interesting mechanic, and I think it's that's like that priest, the one that comes in and everybody has to sack a creature, but this is a one-sided, everybody else has to sack a creature kind of card. So I like it for a common. That's pretty strong.
And I've seen the phasing of Zalfir get a lot of talk lately with this read ahead mechanic. I think that's pretty interesting when you kind of get a choose your own saga kind of a card.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm envisioning is that you're gonna get some sort of artifact or something at some point, or an enchantment or a creature that gives all of your sagas read ahead.
Right.
Like, I can just see that coming because read ahead seems like, oh, that's how I wish sagas would be. That you just kind of choose it. Like, if you want to skip the others, fine. But you get to jump right to the chapter you want to go to. Especially, but if they do that, look out for that. What's the one that creates the Kiki Jiki? The Mirror Breaker.
Oh, Mirror Breaker, the Fable of the Mirror Breaker.
Yeah. So if they come out with a read ahead, like mechanic that you can apply to any saga, that Kiki Jiki one's probably going to get a little more valuable.
And it's already been creeping right up. So I think we're seeing some great stuff. And it's kind of nice to see the Pain lands come back a little bit. They're nothing too phenomenal, but they are great to have another addition to your land base. So it's just more great cards being available to us at a more and more fair price.
These weren't terribly bad to begin with. You could find printings of them that weren't too expensive. But what I think about most, because I have a full play set of the Ice Age ones, that stop here, because this is probably you probably have on the screen two of the biggest cards for me. But I want to talk about the Pain Land cycle. So I think this is a case where it's going to make the Ice Age ones more desirable, right? You can get playable copies at a better price, right? Just like a Masters sort of reprint of something. But I have a feeling it's going to make the Ice Age ones for the bling factor even more desirable.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's something we're seeing in repetition throughout Magic. And I've got to say, as many people love the reserve list, and I understand why financially they have such a position on it, but it seems as though reprints of cards don't terribly impact the good prices on older cards. So even though we're seeing new reprints of some of these cards, it's still got a solid price base for some of these older ones, like you're saying, even on these lands. I think that's a great example.
And let me explain why it's a good thing and why it can and probably should. I really hate talking about the reserve list because it's such a, hot button topic for people. But
Yeah, well,
think about it in these terms. So those Ice Age cards, they really weren't that valuable because you didn't have it in standard. But now a non-reserve list card that was not terribly valuable, like I don't know, they were $10 to $15 a piece. They were reasonable. You have them in standard. Now you have them in Pioneer. You're putting things. I don't know. Maybe they were always in Pioneer. I don't know. But I think some of them were, some of them weren't. I'd have to check that. But it doesn't matter. The point being that when you reprint these old cards like that, it can make the OG versions more desirable, ergo making them more valuable because there's renewed interest in playing it in a format. And
that's
those with
actually a
money
really good point.
want to go get the OG.
Like we've been seeing with like Concordant Crossroads. I don't think that I knew that card existed until it was most recently reprinted. So thank you again, Double Masters 22, for bringing wonderful cards to light. And some of the Liege cycle. I don't think I knew that there was a Simic Liege, even though it's not a phenomenal card. I didn't know it existed. So maybe in some low, cheap to the ground decks, it would be fun to add that. So absolutely. I think even some reprints bring a lot of value to older cards and sets.
Agreed. Now, what's on the screen here, though, I'll be honest with you, Shieldred's the one that stuck out to me the most. It is a mythic.
Yeah.
And I saw, like, okay, it's a 4/5 for 4. Right?
Even
just like it was vanilla.
Yeah.
It's a 4/5 for 4, people. That's pretty good. Even for a vanilla card in black. Yes, please. And it's a Death Toucher. I don't know. That's almost overkill. But whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. So think about this in combination with Necropotence.
Oh, it just in general. Like how good that is.
You can draw your whole deck and gain life. Think about it. You draw your entire deck and gain life for every time you draw a card, and you could draw cards at will. You have to pay 1 life. It's like, oh, this is insane. So whenever it's the second line, though, is where I saw the shenanigans and combos just started popping off in my head.
Yep.
That second ability, whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. So I would not make Shieldred your commander, but she would be like a general. I would be playing at a minimum Rakdos. I think if you added blue, it would be Grixis. I think it's what BBD talked to me about. But all right, so Shieldred, picture this: you're at a commander game. You have Shieldred hit the table. You're playing Grixis. Oh, what is that Strixhaven card that lets you copy the next spell that's cast? Teach by example or something like that.
Yeah, reiterate or something works just as well.
So. Yeah. All right. So you're following me, right? She's on the board. You're about you cast your teach by example. You're about to copy the next spell you cast. Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to draw 14 cards, which means you're going to gain 14 life. No, you're gonna gain 28 life, and everybody else is going to lose 28 life.
Yep.
Every wheel is going to be played in that deck.
Yeah, that would be very unfun. Ugh.
And BBD's like, like just leaving it on the board as is bad enough. Every time they draw a card, oh, please put out your Ristic Study. No, I won't pay the 1. Go ahead, draw a card. And you stack it up. Howling Minds, all the draws in the world. Everybody, fill your hands. Keep filling your hands. Teferi's Puzzle Box.
Oh, yeah. That shit's hilarious. That's one of my favorite cards.
So imagine Shieldred with Teferi's Puzzle Box.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Right? Isn't it you set your whole hand aside every turn?
And then draw that many
Draw
cards,
that
shuffle
many
those.
cards.
Yeah. Ah, it's like a wheel every turn.
Yeah. So again, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shieldred with wheels is just it's gonna be a deck. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
This is a must answer card. If it hits the table, expect bad things to happen immediately. What do you think? I don't know. I saw it and I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I've had a conversation with my investing buddy about this already. And it was like, oh yeah, this is just like a he's like, Pat, you never play black. You seem to dabble around. You're not huge on red, and you certainly just never play black cards. I think it would be a great experience for you. You should definitely try to make like an aristocrats black deck. And Pat, this seems like a great commander. So I'll be honest, I'm probably gonna make a really dickhead Shieldred deck.
you know what this reminds me of? The last time I got this sort of wheel clicking about a commander. You should know the answer to this one.
Oh, Turgid.
Yep. That's exactly. This is Turgid 2.0 in a different way. It's like, oh God, oof. Lord. This thing is just
gonna be gross. Yeah. Like it's not gonna be fun to play against. It might not even be fun to play. And that's one of the things I've come to realize through watching a lot of EDH Rex podcast is they had a great episode about what do you want from a game of Commander. Is I want to have a good time, and if I were to trade decks with anybody or everyone at the table, would I still have a fun time? And it's like, no, this deck would not be fun to play against. Probably. You'd have to work real hard to spot remove it over and over and over, which is sort of fun. Like it is. But when I play like Brawl online, it's kind of fun to exile someone's commander like 4 times in a game and then they just quit.
Yeah. I mean, the one next to it, the Defiler of Dreams, has already got my wheels clicking too. About basically, it turns every blue thing into a blue permanent into a Phyrexian mana. Right. So think about that. Think about what you could. I mean, you could put out big blue stuff, right? Like Omnipotence.
Yeah.
So if you got this out on turn 5, let's say you're lucky and get out in Commander on turn 3, right? You can absolutely cast Omnipotence on turn 4.
Yeah. It's not even legendary, which is kind of a bummer. But it's kind of
Think about being forget about a 4/3 flyer.
I love that. Like whenever you cast a blue permanent spell, draw a card, how that's the last line of text. Like, oh, this is the least important thing. Let's just put
right. Drawing the card is the least important part. That mental ability, I'm telling you, is going to get abused.
I'll be totally honest. I think Joyra, ageless innovator. This one's going to be real fun. Kind of like a Mizzix deck, where you're kind of getting like those experience counters. I think this will be real fun. And I mean, come on, is it for a 2/3? That's a really cheap entry level. You're getting that shit out turn 2, and then bangarang, you're going gasoline on that.
Oh, dude, this was the first one that jumped out at me because, and I did some digging, and there's like one enchantment out there that you pay 1 blue and you can it's enchanted creature, and you get to untap target creature. So the first thing,
Penman's Aura?
Something like that.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Such a good card.
All right. Well, just picture it on top of this thing. And you've got Blightsteel Colossus in your hand.
Or Umbral Mantle. If you can get, the mana for it, just keep rolling an Umbral Mantle over and over and over. Hey, what up, Oz? Great to have you here.
So, yeah, I see lots of shenanigans in store for Joyra. I think there's definitely going to be an artifact deck with Joyra coming out where you're gonna the unfortunate thing is it's not salty like the Shieldred. Like that commander you just say salty Shieldred.
And I think that's Shieldred, a great example right there. Just as a game theory kind of a conversation. When you've got Shieldred right next to Joyra, you can tell very quickly which one. They're both great cards. These are both incredibly powerful. but I'd rather play against a Joyra deck.
Yeah, because you get some interaction you're going to get with her.
It would bring
the
me more
artifact or
joy,
something.
bruh. It would bring
Shieldred's
me
going
more
to hit.
joy, bruh. I've
Shieldred's
been
going to
watching
hit.
Field Track every track.
When Shieldred hits a table, I can just already hear people,
Ooh.
like, who's got an answer for that? that's
Well,
going to be the first thing that happens when she hits the table.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
no doubt.
absolutely. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Pause, is that Joyra already feels like it's going to be good in decks. I mean, shit, I'd like to play Joyra in my Kaikar deck. Hey, what up, Gundolphin? I mean,
So let me ask you this.
big card.
What black deck does Shieldred not go into?
See, it's really good. And just about any deck would want that card. And for 4, that's such an entry-level price.
Yeah, it's
black decks want to play that. And as gross as it sounds, I want to make that deck. And with the wonderful NPC fill option, I can go ahead and get that printed and sent to me at the low price. It's phenomenal.
I mean, I think a lot of people were looking at her for like an aristocrat sort of deck. And she will fit right in with that, no doubt.
That's what I'm
for
thinking.
An aristocrat's deck, she's going in. But I wanted to create whole new wheel decks for her. Like, okay, here's I'm not killing you with creatures, win con. Go ahead, draw all the cards you want. And oh, by the way, just the very fact of drawing those cards is going to put us so far apart that
absolutely. And then you throw in some veto kind of action, a little bit of just extra gross life
Exquisite
gain manipulation.
Blood, Sanguine Bond.
Yeah. Oh, hey, look at Appear into the Abyss and see how fun that's going to be for everyone tonight. I was playing a game the other night, and someone had a combo where they forced me to mill half of my library, and then their next combo portion was to draw as many cards that were in my graveyard. So it was like,
oh God, this would kill him right away.
Yeah, it was like, I just lost. It was like, fuck, this is terrible. So fun. But like that's a fun combo to lose against in a way, but you don't want to keep doing that. Like, what's the game plan for a Shieldred deck? Okay, I'm gonna make you draw a bunch of stuff and then you lose life, and I draw a bunch of stuff and I gain life. Whereas like you can go so many different ways with a Joyra deck. I mean, you're just putting artifacts into play. It's like, holy crap.
The Defiler of Dreams. Like this lineup right here, it just makes me all, yay, I was right. Dominator United, good set. And the people that are shitting on this. Now I'll say this. There's a lot of cards like the big 6 casters that I saw. I'm like, that's terrible.
We'll scroll a bit and see some, I'm sure.
Set. It's a standard set. I think Windgrace is also going to be, I think Windgrace might be the most fun to build around. To be honest, I love Squee, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, like Windgrace, people love playing with lands. Like land graveyard recursion.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the big green guy out of? You should know this. Out of Zendikar Rising, the Green Warden. Is that what his name is? Ancient Green Warden.
Ancient Green Warden.
The one that lets you go play land cards out of here. Yeah. But I think that this is going to be one of those like really fun commander type decks. Now I'm talking just in terms of commander, folks. Oh, you know what? I was encouraged by my lovely better half to be fun Bobby tonight. So cheers to you. Drink them if you got them, folks.
Yeah. Have at it. It's fucking Saturday. Live it up, fellas.
Woo! So
let's get wild. We got internet, bitches.
Right? I'm not as big on the Soul Canar. I like the explanation of it from what's her name, the really socially awkward chick that works for Magic.
So when I saw this Soul of Windgrace card get previewed, my first thought was, oh shit, DJ's got to make another Windgrace deck.
It's good. I like it. I don't know that it's going to be like super high dollar, but it looks like it's going to be a ton of fun.
Yeah, and I like that it's 3 colors, so you get a lot of play. And honestly, those are 3 kind of off colors. Those are almost competitive cycles. So it's a fun combination there.
And I just think it's gonna be a fun card to build around. It's not gonna be like a super strong commander, but it'll be a fun commander. Like lots of different things. I love modality, and I love selectable modality. So this one gives you 4 mana spent. I think it's very fair priced. It's a 5/4 for 4. First of all, that's not terrible. So it's a reasonably priced commander. And whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you can play a land card from a graveyard. Key word there, folks. Doesn't have to be your graveyard. So everybody that's in your commander game and popping off all their popping off all of their fetch lands early on and shit. Or you can kill their Gaia's Cradle.
Oh yeah, and then get them back.
I'll take your Gaia's Cradle.
And you're playing red, so you got that little bit of land destruction that's built in there.
Like targeted land destruction. I'm not talking now mass land destruction will make this just stupid busted. Like it's like, oh boy. Okay. You just blink him like 20 times, take everybody's land that just went to the graveyard from Armageddon, and it's like, oh, okay, well, thanks. Anyways, it'll be a fun card to build around. I think it's a solid card. Squee on point. I've always loved Squee with the Squeeze toy. I've loved Squeeze toy since it came out in Tempest. I've loved Squee Goblin Nabob that was in Masks, I want to say, kept recurring from the graveyard, and he does.
What's funny is that I don't think I've heard anybody pick up on that. Okay, the character's name is Squee, so something he owns is called Squeeze. Okay, squeeze is also the action of when you tighten your hands around something, and that's something that we call a squeeze toy. I think that's the joke about that original card. Is they just wanted to call a card squeeze toy, like Rocket Launcher. Magic the Gathering has a very odd sense of humor.
So, I mean, it is. I think it might have, although I think they had Squeeze toy as part of his lore before they made the thing. I don't know. I'm not nerdy enough to know that. I'm a super nerd. I'm not bagging on nerds at all, folks, because I'm a geeky nerd. Whatever's bad, that's what I am. I don't care. So I like that he's got Squeeze toy in his hand there on his throne. I like that you can get him back from the graveyard just like his original version, which is flipping awesome. I like the card a lot. I want it in my collection because I've always liked Squee.
It's fun.
Zur, I think, is going to do some things. Like,
absolutely.
I don't know, but that's a strong ability.
Yeah, I mean, the line of text alone, enchantment creatures you control have death touch, lifelink, and hexproof. Oh, come off. Get out. That's real good. And then you go ahead and just add in his ability at the bottom, 1 and a white. Non-aura enchantment becomes a creature in addition to other types, base power to its mana value. Oh, yeah, and then it's going to have death touch, lifelink, hexproof. That's not really awesome. Like, for other people. Like, that's incredible. And it doesn't say until end of turn. So that's like one of the interesting things I picked off of that card there is just that it becomes one of those. It's just, okay, now it's all alive.
So when you think about that, you put your heuristic study out and somebody goes to blow it up. No, I'm going to make it. Sorry, no, you can't get rid of your Phyrexian reclamation. Oh, I'm going to blow that up. No, you're not. It's indestructible.
And interesting thing that's also not on this card for wording is token, non-token. It just says non-aura enchantment. So all of your token enchantments totally up for grabs.
Yeah, they just can't be an aura.
Yep.
So, I mean, and there's lots of enchantments you want to try to protect. And this will absolutely do that. Right? Because like Rhystic Study wasn't salty enough in the first place, or Smothering Tithe, that now they're indestructible, death-touching, lifelink, hexproof enchantment creature things. Like, I think this is a very good card.
At least it doesn't say flying. You know, if they also gave them flying, I would just, ban that shit. But no, this is an incredible card. I think
Easy enough in blue to give everything flying, though.
Be a fun one.
Very easy in blue to give everything flying.
As cool as Zur is, I'm as disappointed in the Raven Man.
Yeah, this one was hyper underwhelming for me for such a hyped. You realize that this was like a clamored for card, right? Like people been, all the nerds out there that wanted to have the Raven Man because he's in the lore and wanted to have a card for it, and they finally give him one, and it's very
meh. Yeah, it's like the most kind of card I've seen in quite a while. It feels like rare, like a very common rare. We'll see a shitload of these. This is going to be like 70 cents come, release weekend.
Oh, release weekend, sure. At the end of this is going to be a 15-cent rare. It's bulk. Sorry, it just is. It's got nothing. So we've already talked about
interested in Shivan Reef than I am of the Raven Man. Like,
I'm very interested in the land cycle. The land cycle. I've always loved the pain lands, but here we go. Now we're talking. The thing that made me go, okay, yeah, immediately. And I don't care if anything else that we've talked about tonight was in Dominaria. You have now just given the collector boxes a shot, probably a pretty good one, at Liliana of the fucking Veil, folks, in this set. So sorry for the naysayers and the poo-pooers all over Dominaria United. They've been out there for a while, and I said, wait for the spoilers. Not only are there great new cards in there, Liliana of the Veil, not the Last Hope, of the Veil, and you can get her in textured foil in the collector boxes. And it's going to be very likely because there's one textured foil in every collector box.
Oh, nice.
So, folks, if you're still not convinced about Dominaria United collector boxes, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, right.
For a standard set, I mean, you have a shot at Legends cards, Pendrell Veil, Eureka, Moat, and, oh, by the way, in the same pack, you might pick up a textured Liliana of the Flippin' Veil with some pain lands to sprinkle it on. What more do you want, folks? Jeez.
It's going to be tasty, man. And I like that we're back up to the 12 packs per box. So that's a great thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love the premium value of those 4 tuxedo-like packs in that pretty little black box for Collectors 22. But I don't think that going 12 packs per box is a bad decision on these. That's going to be a welcome.
Yeah, and I just want to say real quick, I wanted to give a shout out to everybody that's in chat tonight. I see Dual Brain out there. I see Brian Giles. I see Gundolphin. I see Twiddler and Mr. Pause Brown himself, Mr. Keeping It Positive up in our casa tonight. If I've missed anybody, my apologies, or if you just haven't spoken up, hello and welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you agree or don't agree, please speak up. Let us know what you guys think about tonight. By the way, we're inviting you to drink them if you got them. It's Fun Bobby night on Cardboard Conversation. If you missed it earlier, do the rewind. Go check out the bit about triomes and why I think they're going to spike in price, folks. But tonight, coming up, so just so you don't bail now, first off, smash like, subscribe here. Go check out my channel. Give me a sub. Hit like. Do all that shit there if you want to, if you like what we're saying. If you don't like what we're saying, well, F off. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead and let me know that too. I'm fine with that. But, thank you for showing up tonight. Drink them if you got them. And on the docket yet, I'm going to talk about something that I tend to be, the guy that talks either thing about things first or only. And it's the upcoming PvE in Magic the Gathering, which I think is a big deal. And
absolutely,
it is at Magic 30th. So we're going to have more on that. Stick around for when we get done talking about Dominaria United, because this is the hot new. I'm going to talk about the what's coming up new at Magic 30th for the PvE. And I'm going to want your input too, folks.
What about Age the Liliana?
Aged Liliana. Is there a different art that has aged? What I love. Can you zoom in on that any at all? Like,
Yeah.
I love the background there. If you look at the background, did you catch that with the veil in the background?
Oh, yeah.
Can you zoom in? Can you super blow that up? Like, if you hit Control and scroll wheel up, you should be able to zoom in. Maybe. I mean, it's behind me too. If you just blow me up, actually, I have her behind me.
Ooh.
It'll probably be bigger if you just blow me up in the middle. But you see that in the mirror, the chain veil Liliana is checking herself out from the mirror. I don't know if you can see that, folks, but
Yeah, I like that.
right there,
Of the veil.
her reflection in the mirror behind her is like, "What's up, Lily? What are you doing?" And this is before she, like, I think, looks all evil and shit. So, I don't have the extended one behind me. Sorry, I'm not that good, but we can pull that up. But I did want to point that out with the chain veil. When I looked at that a little closer, when somebody pointed out, "Oh, I love the chain veil behind her," I'm like, that is dope. That is super dope. And I should stop saying hip words because it just doesn't sound good rolling off.
It's like wicked sweet, bro. Swish.
What does swish mean?
It means I'm getting old, Bob. It means I'm getting old. And if I want to date past the age of 27, it's either a woman that's all fucked up inside or she has kids. So I'm hearing
Or both.
kids say the dumbest shit in the world lately. Oh my God.
Just remember, you were one of those dumb kids once upon a time. All right,
Yeah.
so I have the image to actually share to show you what Ed was talking about. I'm going to share that super quick here. A Chrome tab. There we go. So this is the aged Liliana of the Veil. So she does look like she got super duper old. Let me see if I can. Why can't I zoom? Why is it not letting me zoom? Okay. So I had to like click on her and I could zoom a little bit. That's the best I can do. It's not letting me like. Oh, there we go. She does look like she's had some of her life force at least drained from her.
Yeah, for real.
So I don't know, Ed. Good eye. She doesn't look nearly as hot as she does in the non-extended art. So I'll be honest with you. I kind of like the non-extended art better than the extended art. I don't know. It's kind of cool that behind her in the stained glass is the chain veil. Right? That's kind of cool. But I like the art of the younger, hotter looking one better. So
oh, Gundolphin, you scamp, you.
bitchin'. Wheezing the
juice. No, the last one.
Oh, wow.
Nice. I just killed a fly because fuck them. Pat kills bugs. You hear that? Be scared, YouTube.
Be scared. Be very afraid. All right. So is there any more cards that we want to talk about? I don't really care to talk about any of the new spoilers.
No, I think that we've covered most of the most recent stuff. And really the conversation about Domain, kickers coming back. That's always great. And the read ahead, I think that's really, well, the enlist mechanic is pretty slick. I think that's going to be cool. And I think for a draft experience, that's going to be a really big play.
Yeah. So Domain, go out there, at least read up on it, and then see if you want to invest in more triomes, because that's what I recommend. Especially the Streets of New Capenna ones, because they're standard legal. I think they're going to be hot. And you can bet that Domain's going to stick around for all of the new Dominaria sets. So usually when they introduce a mechanic like this in a block set, it carries through the whole block.
He's into gilfs. Grandmas I want to love.
Sure. Grandmas I'd love to find.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, go check out those triomes. I think they're going to spike in price, folks. Keep an eye on it at least. If you got them, don't sell them. So, I think I saw Streets of New Capenna draft boxes at like $75 or $79 the other day. I was like, "Ooh,
Yeah, it's like I was hinting at, is that there's a lot of products that people are skipping by to go right ahead and look at what's coming out and still yet to come. And there's plenty of wonderful deals still to be had. And I think if you look around, you can certainly find some, New Capenna for so damn cheap. Same thing with Kamigawa. And even Double Masters 22 right now is still a pretty decent deal. I think I
oh,
saw
dude,
300 just recently.
it's underpriced. Pure and simple, it's underpriced. I feel bad for the people that don't feel that way. I feel bad for you in a year from now. That's all I
Right?
can say about that. Ed did a video about the lull that we're in right now. So this should be like our time to shine because we don't need new product to talk magic shit on this show.
Exactly.
We got content lined up that just couldn't even make the docket tonight, folks.
Yep.
And I'm
It's funny.
working on getting a great guest that I'm sure won't matter what the lull is. He has a lot of experience, should be a familiar face to most of you out there. Just waiting on him to solidify the date, and that should be a lot of fun. So keep tuning in every week too, folks. That you never know what you're going to get here on Cardboard Conversations. Hopefully, always good shit though.
Or one terrible one. I might have a shitty guest lined up, and we'll just let you know ahead of time. This guy's really into wood carving, but we're gonna bring him on for a Magic the Gathering conversation. We'll let you know. That one's gonna be a special one-off. That's gonna be on like a Sunday or something.
Had a guy in the van down by the river who wanted to come on the show for some reason.
Some random dude. Yeah.
So we got more news this week, though. Ooh. I mean, this was sort of a big week for a lot of things, and unfortunately, like I said, I had to restart my computer right before the show because I had so much shit lined up for tonight, folks. Interestingly, they talked about the product releases upcoming, so we know what the lineup's going to be. To an extent, I don't think they did as great a job as they did last year.
No.
When they exposed the lineup. I'm not talking about with picking the sets. Those are fine. They're standard sets. And I'm going to tell you right now, for fun and flavor and whatnot, the standard sets, cool. No problem. We know that Lord of the Rings is coming as what I'm calling Modern Horizons 3. It fits into that slot very nicely. It's a straight to modern set. It'll be 2 years after Modern Horizons 2. I predict it'll be out sometime in the summer or early fall next year. And look at Modern Horizons 1 and 2, right? And they know they effed up with the crossover IP with Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think they want to repeat that same mistake. So, and I'll bet you that the Tolkien estate would be very upset with them if the set does poorly. So I have a feeling that they're going to try to ride that gravy train. And if that new series on Amazon does any good at all, you've got a very good combination. You're not familiar with?
They're making another fucking Lord of the Rings series.
Not another. It'll be the first series. It's not going to be a series of movies. It's going to be a series, a live action series on Amazon. They paid $250 million for it.
Okay. Tinfoil hat time. Pat's going to just guess. They're going to push the message way too hard. And that's just going to get canceled like the Orville. They might get 3 seasons.
Oh, you're talking about the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's looking pretty tight. Go check out Amazon. It's the new Lord of the Rings. It's looking. There's some purist poo-pooing on it, but it looks interesting to me, and it looks like it's got high production quality. So,
fine enough point because The Expanse is absolutely phenomenal. Great show. That's on Amazon. The Boys, phenomenal stuff, and that's through Amazon as well. So they've definitely got some good stuff, but I've also seen some big old stinkers come out of them too. So we'll definitely have to weigh that out as we go along, for sure.
But I'm excited for it. It looks pretty dope to me already. However, I'm just saying, I think that Magic hopefully has learned their lesson, but I'm going to caution everybody. every set moving forward. Have your money set aside. Save your money for sets that look appealing to you if you're looking for financial advice here. So screw all those people saying we don't want financial advice. This is financial advice.
Yeah.
In terms of Magic and my personal opinions, what I'm personally targeting, and I've done pretty damn good so far. Starting next year, you don't want to be actually starting a few years ago. Standard sets are not where it's at. Sorry, they just don't appreciate nearly as fast as the non-standard sets, the master sets, the remastered, the masters sets, the Modern Horizon sets. Those are the sets they tend to target for financial value. They cost more, but guess what? They also appreciate faster, dollar for dollar. So $1 invested in double masters in 2020 turned into more dollars per dollar than any set in 2020. And I love 2020. That was a great year for Magic.
And I think coming up, we're almost lined up with Dominaria Remastered to be in another like product of the Time Spiral and Throwback. And they were very explicit in saying that it is a limited run specialty print product. So
that's not going to be one you can wait on, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. If you're going to buy it, if you think you're going to buy Dominaria Remastered, I'm going to say this about it. You have to start thinking about it now. You have to start setting aside your ducats now. I am starting to consider it. After they showed me Force of Will, I was like, oh, balls.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to make room in my investment budget next year for Dominaria Remastered. I don't know where I'm going to come up with the budget for it. I don't know how I'm going to come up with it, but I know it's going to be in my portfolio. We already know what the price points are for it, which really isn't that crazy when you look at it. No. It's actually even cheaper than Time Spiral Remastered was. So it's also going to have a collector box.
There's a collector's version, though, which is...
But yeah, so who knows what to expect from that. Probably like the hype is dope versions are going to be in the collector box, whatever. Yeah, I'll probably target on that one collector boxes again as well. I probably... if they stick with what they seem to be toying with, which is the case premium concept, meaning they're putting numbers of cards in things based around case products. That's a whole different concept. That's sort of, if we're talking about giving you the 101 lesson, the whole case premium thing is more like a 200 level class for those college graduates out there. It's not super top end, but it is, a little more advanced concept about how the occurrence of cards within a certain given range of product and, the X percentage with percentage of packs. So, for example, Legends cards, we know there's going to be 1 Legends cards and 3% of packs, which works out to basically 1 in every 3 boxes, and there's 6 boxes in a case, right? So you should get roughly 2 Legends cards per case of Dominaria United. They did the same thing with the 3% of cards in with different pack counts and different box counts in the case. If you look at Double Masters 2022, 3% of packs, right, have a textured foil. What that equates out to is basically 1 per case. Rudy's commented on that that's what it worked out to be. It seems to be exactly true that there's 1 in every case. So buying loose boxes can actually punish you if people have been opening cases till they hit the textured foil. And if you do this in large enough numbers and you sell off, the hits that you get, keep the textured foils, sell the boxes that, if you hit a textured foil in the first box, cool, sell the other 7. There's a case premium that they're working on. So that's what I was talking about with that. I'm beginning to start buying my investments in terms of cases, right? So that means I have to hold back on even more product, which means I'm probably skipping Brothers War. It means I'm probably skipping anything else in Dominaria United. It means I'm probably skipping Most of the secret layers, except for one that they mentioned, I think I'm going to have to get. I'm going to wait and see. The one that opens one pack a day for 30 days. Each card is individually packed in its own pack for the countdown. We'll have to see like
the only issue with
what
that
it
is
is.
like, when are you actually going to get them? If you're ordering them as a secret layer, you know you're not going to get it for like 6 fucking months.
Yeah, so you get to countdown 2024.
Yeah, so it's like you get it in June, and it's like countdown to 6 months ago. Cool. You know, if it was maybe shipped to an LGS and it was, hey, you win, you know, you can go in and buy it or something. Like it's a freaking advent.
But pause. I've seen you open more than a case since I've been a sub of yours. What that means to get cases, though, is
got to get it all together.
You got to have discipline not to buy everything, right? You have to hold off on buying things until you can afford a case. But that's only like an investment perspective. And I'm only talking to those that can afford it. Like, I'm not going to go back and cover the fundamental basics of you need to have your shit together, financially speaking, before you buy any Magic. You can see 100 videos on that.
So, interesting thing, the Warhammer 40K decks are all temporarily out of stock, and I just got emails on all of my Warhammer product saying that it is being changed to an undisclosed shipping and release date. So
that's hot news.
Sounds like that shit's getting pushed back.
Maybe they're probably got to, they're going to have they've already sold commander events giving out commander decks for Warhammer 40K at Magic 30th. So they probably said, hold on, got to keep so many of them for that event. Yeah. Which we have more on that coming up, folks.
Yeah, I've ordered 2 of every commander deck for Warhammer 40K. Because honestly, I want to have one of each one, and I want to have like my whole pod play together. And I'm just going to do that because honestly, $40 for a commander deck is pretty freaking decent. And I think, as per usual, we're going to see something pretty cool.
I don't think they're $40.
What's that?
I don't think they're $40.
Yeah, those are $40.
The Warhammer ones?
Yeah, just about.
Not when I looked.
Yeah. Yeah, give or take.
Huh.
Yeah, because you have to buy all 4 at once. You can't buy them separately. So.
Maybe I was just thinking of the collector editions because they all have surge foils.
Oh, yeah. They, Jake and Joel actually had the breaking news, I think it was. They got a nice short video.
Where are you ordering those? I don't even see them on Amazon.
No. No, maybe I got it pre-order early enough. Yeah, it was like 41 and change, $42, something like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not even showing up on Amazonian.
That's not terribly surprising at this point, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. $350.
Yeah, and pause. I'm not saying that that's the way that you should buy Magic cards. I think people misunderstand me really often when I say keep it sealed, keep it safe, and I'm giving investing advice. That's purely for those wanting to invest, right? As a diversification of their portfolio. I do not recommend it being the primary asset class that you have for investments. And I'm not going to go into all that. You need to talk to a financial consultant about that. You should be going the traditional route. I think it's a far, far more responsible way to invest. Max out your 401ks. Make sure that you're doing well at least on your other ones like HSAs
if you
and
hit the max on your 401ks, legitimate financial advice, buy some fucking index. Don't get wild. Just get your
index fund, baby.
Like just try and don't beat the market. Just play the fucking market. Get your 5 to 8. That's better. That's like 16 times what you'll get putting your money in a savings account. It's low to no risk. Don't screw around with CDs and bonds because the government's a shit right now. Jerome Powell fucked us all up. So just go ahead, buy your index, buy your boxes of Magic cards that are going to go up on specialty products, and just hope you can maybe beat the market that way. I mean, it's funny that that's the alternative. It's like I feel as though I get to do stuff when I'm buying and selling Magic cards. Whereas when I'm buying like index funds, I'm gonna do nothing with them.
Well, but that's how I do. That's how I do with my Magic sealed investment too.
I love how many
I honestly
people
look at it.
Yeah, I love how like our viewership went down 50% on that rant.
I don't want to hear them talk about financial responsibility, Bobby.
Index
All
funds,
right,
I'm fucking out of here.
peace. Fucking financial.
Oh, then again, Ed
stability
probably
nonsense.
just started up.
But you know, moving on, what I'll say about the standards, that's just fine that, you know, we're doing the whole Phyrexian arc. I like Phyrexian stuff just as much as other people. I'm excited about artifacts being in the Brothers' War. I think it's a fine return to actually paying attention to the storyline, which a lot of people like like Perp, you know, doing lots of story stuff, and I like the fact that there's a rich world that they're introducing. I like the return to a block, and they're even doing an after block set, which I thought was interesting. A wrap up, you know, the mayhem, the settle the wreckage from the
Like
whole
after the
Phyrexian
March
thing.
of the Machines, and
The
that's something,
aftermath.
you know, I'm personally, I wasn't playing Magic when Rise of the Eldrazi came around, so I didn't have any experience with Phyrexians until I came back and realized the horror that Phyrexia had really leveled upon stuff.
Phyrexians have been around for a long time, since the beginning, bro.
And maybe it's just I was so unaware because of, you know, the level I was playing at when I was in middle and high school. And with the new return that it looks like we're getting winter of next year, you know, the March of the Machines is about Phyrexians, the actual war that it's going to wrap up with Dominaria. And it seems as though there's going to be a huge shift in the planes from what they've been saying. And it just seems really incredible. I think that it's going to be a phenomenal time for the story of Magic and for the story of Magic players as well. With some of the cards we're going to be getting is just wonderful staples.
So, like Phyrexian, just to like kind of circle back on that. I mean, Phyrexian processor is like the first one that comes to mind, but I think there was Phyrexian and text even before that, like in the flavor text. But Phyrexian processor, I think, comes from alliances.
Nice. You know, pause, something you might think about doing. Since you've got a decent amount of patrons and subscribers, maybe you want to sell off one of those sealed boxes per pack or sell a whole sealed box to a wonderful subscriber that wants to see that opened. Maybe get some liquid that way and roll it into some new stuff. You know, one of the things about products, you know, sealed products and investing in general, what's your out? What's your price point on getting rid of it? Maybe that's one way you want to do it. I've thought about it myself, but something else I've thought a lot about is the incredible sets we're getting. And man, I want to see some of those horrors, Bob. Shieldred's looking good, but I think there's going to be some more nasty shit.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So I'm just saying that, you know, with Dominaria United, folks, and I haven't even looked at the spoilers for today. I don't know if anybody did. I didn't have a chance, really. But it looks like it's going to be a good set. It really looks like it's going to be a good, solid set. Not every card is going to be a banger in there. You know, it's not double masters, folks. Like getting 5 to 10 good cards in a set is usually
but
a
even
win.
double masters, there's a lot of stuff that's kind of jank in there too. How many fucking thought scours do I need, Bob? You know how 50? Many monastery Swiss spears I have? That's the new Hashep oasis of my life.
But oh yeah, they printed some of those. Like I don't know. I don't understand why they did the full art on commons. I'm just gonna that seems bizarre because then you have such, especially if you're not gonna do full art on the entire set, then you just took for those spots
so much filler,
and you printed so many of them. Those cards will never recover, folks. I'm going to tell you that right now. Especially like the bounce lands. Don't rush out to buy those because there are many of them. Many. Swift Spears. How many Swift Spear decks are there?
I probably had a draft box of Double Masters 22 where it had as many cryptic spires as it did bounce lands. So that's like 1-to-1 ratio. That's not awesome.
So I'm just saying, all those that they had, like the limited selection that they could print from, Eternal Witness not going to recover from that.
No.
Blood Artist is not going to recover. Inquisition of Kozilek not going to recover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, they're just not, because you only had a handful dot scours. You know.
Yeah, you can't even try and trade those into TCG Player because of the incredible availability of them. You know, there's just so fucking many that they won't pay you for them.
Yeah, what was Spell Pierce is another one that was in it. There's just the Quasali Pride Mage. If you ever want a full art foil, one of those, go get it.
It's incredible that there are tokens worth more than like full art uncommons.
Anyways,
yeah,
I thought it was a bad idea to make. They should have done that limited pool with some of the rares and banger, rares that they only did full arts on, like Smothering Tithe, only did full arts on, Phyrexian Altar, only did full arts on some of the rares, or at least the etched, make those that way, something, but they didn't. They only did it with
that etch spot. Jeez Louise. That thing got hit so hard.
So, we'll see. I think they made some questionable choices there, but it's still a banger set. If they don't reprint these cards soon, some of these will recover. Some will never. Like the ones they printed a bajillion of: Swiss Spear, Looking at You, Mentor of the Meek, Quasali Pride Mage, Blood Artist. I mean, Blood Artist is a great card, don't get me wrong, but how many do you need?
Yeah.
How many Blood Artist decks really are there? Sorry, it's just not. So the bounce lands are in more decks, but there's more of them.
Yeah, Shadowborn Apostle, same kind of deal. That thing's just got ran to the ground. I mean, Jeskai Ascendancy and Supreme Verdict got like the same treatment as well. Just so many.
Yeah. So it's unfortunate that they did that. Yeah. But moving on, we do have the releases coming up for the rest of the year. I'm excited for Brothers War. It seems like they've really pushed Brothers War. Yo, Decoy, thanks for showing up, buddy.
What up, guy?
I'm going to say this about all standard sets. If you don't know what a standard set is, go look it up. I'm not going to explain it here. It's a difficult concept to understand, but just ask people. Like, if you're going to drop $100+ on something, ask before you buy it. Is this a standard set?
Yeah.
So all standard sets moving forward until WotC reestablishes more confidence, you must wait for the spoilers. Like, if you want to be safe, wait for the spoilers. If you're a gambler, sure, go sight unseen. Order your pre-orders before the prices.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, Bob, you can do what I do, and I was talking to this girl about this today. So, oh yeah, happy Saturday. We're having a good night as well. Cheers, Decoy. So I just pre-ordered shit like crazy on Amazon for Magic the Gathering product, because they don't charge you until they sell it. And by the time you get to like actual ship date, you know that if it's going to be a good or bad product. So at that point, I just cancel. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bad.
Recently. It's been super advantageous. Like, I pre-ordered Unfinity in like fucking December. My rate is, I think, $198 for one of the collector boxes and like $98 for the draft boxes. It's fucking ridiculous how cheap you can get stuff on pre-order when it slowly creeps up. I mean, same thing. Me and you, we knew Double Masters was going to be bangers, so we got in at, basement prices.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm going to caution. Like, it's great that they have all these wonderful labels and concepts and whatnot, but until you actually see the card spoiled, you're not going to really know if a set's going to be good. And even when they are good, they just don't race as fast as non-standard products. What are non-standard products? I'm not talking about commander decks. That's a whole different market unto itself. I'm not talking about the, what do they call it? The Friday Night Magic boxes. I'm not talking about
game night boxes, any of those pre-release kits.
No, I'm talking about sets, actual sets. And I agree, Decoy, that the non-standard Double Masters was a safer bet. But I'll share with the audience, I was with Decoy when they got actually spoiled, and we were doing the happy dance when they announced the Imperial Seal. I was like, banger! This set is just gonna be hot, and it is. It's great. And right now we're in like the lull of it, where it looks. This is as bad as Double Masters will ever look. Right? Oh, there's so much of it. There's so nuh-uh, folks. That's only perspective. It's funny how people don't really recognize that until it's in the rearview mirror, and then they're like, "Shit, that really was a great set, and I missed it."
Yeah.
So it's an amazing set. Double Masters is fantastic. Modern Horizons 2 still an amazing set. It was really printed a lot, but I just bought. I think that might be my most recent Magic purchase besides Las Vegas. We really did. I actually danced like a legit happy dance. At any rate, the last product I bought, thanks to Decoy being hot with the research, notified me of Modern Horizons 2 set boxes for sale at $199. And on that same site, I had a coupon that week for an additional 5% off anything on the site, no taxes, $6 for any quantity shipped.
Damn.
So I bought 3 set boxes of Modern Horizons 2 for $190 a box, shipped.
That's great.
That's crazy. That's cheaper than it has ever been anywhere. And it's a stupid set. It's so good, and because it's been in print for so long, which it's only a year, because there's so much of it available, and it looks like it's cheap, and you get this false pretense that it'll be cheap until you want to go buy it. And then when it's $230, I think immediately, as soon as it sells out, it's going to jump right back to $230.
Right back up, yeah.
And then it'll be $250, and then it'll be $270. And within a year and a half of being out of print, that Joker's going to be up at $300. I will bet that Modern Horizons 2 set boxes 1 year after, OOP is announced, those Jokers are going to be hot. I've got a good position on Modern Horizons 2, both set and draft. It's an amazing set, folks. Those are the ponies you want to bet on, right? These are non-standard sets. And guess what? Lord of the Rings next year?
Non-standard. Yeah. That's, like we were
Dominaria
saying.
Remastered?
Yeah. Oh,
Dominaria Remastered? Not a standard set. So if you're looking to dump money, those are the 2 sets to start saving now. I don't know how else to say it, folks. If you want to be a part of those sets and you want to be in the rub my nipples club when it comes out, start saving your money now. Don't buy every pack between now and December and Christmas toys and whatnot. Save your money. Save your money.
He's running that 8% off sale. Don't fucking do it. Save your money. If you want to have that good time next year, start having that time now. Thinking about now.
Yeah, So there are deals out there, folks, for great sets. When you look at the set and go, damn, there's a lot of great cards in that set. Looking at you, Core 2021, that I expect to be $200 a box within a year. Because I just Terror of the Peaks is just gross.
So good.
I built a deck and played against Sparky, and I'm just having so much fun. I shared it with you. I've got Elder Gargaroth, Scute Swarm, and Terror of the Peaks in there, and it's just so much fun. It's so much fun. It's stupid.
Yeah.
You attack with Elder Gargaroth, make a 3/3 beast. Terror of the Peaks does 3 points of damage, killing their blocker or doing 3 more to the face. It's like, God, they're gross. They're disgusting, both of them. Both 5 casting costs. Both of them from Core 2021, folks. Great box, and that's what I'm saying. Look at great sets. Look at the bones of it. Don't look at the hype. Don't look at the lore. Kind of look at the print numbers. But if you're all things being equal, look at the sets, folks. You know when a set is good. You look at them and go, those cards are great. Not 1 or 2 cards. You want at least 5 to 10 great cards out of a set. I think we're going to get that out of Dominaria United. We've already got at least 2 great cards. 1, the reprint of Liliana the Veil.
Hey, keep talking for a sec. I'm going to go ahead and grab another beer.
Sure. 2, The new Shieldred shenanigans. I bet you Joyra. I don't know if it's going to be a great card, but it's a good card. We have a better than average land cycle for Dominaria United. I'm hoping to see a couple more great cards. I think Zur has the potential to be a great card. It's that's how you want to be looking at this from a financial aspect. If you're looking just for flavor and to play and whatnot, like Streets of New Capenna, I'm sure would be a fine enough set to play in a bubble by itself, drafting with your buddies. Oh, Dominaria United is looking pretty good. There's a lot of people still poo-pooing on it because here's the thing, Decoy, is people, they pick like the worst cards in that are spoiled to point out. But it's the great cards that are in them that are really what make the set. And so far we have 2 great cards. I'm telling you right now, Shieldred's going to cause some serious salt, folks. Though Tergrid never got as expensive as I thought it would, but there's a reason that they're salty commanders. They're broken good. Tergrid is definitely a broken good kind of card. I built a deck that was just so lopsided it was not fun to play. I think Shieldred's going to fall into that category. She is just, whoo. Wow. That is a crazy good card. And I think we're going to see much shenanigans with that. I think that the synergies with the domain mechanic coming out in Dominaria United, playing with the triomes, is going to make triomes good, and people are going to be interested in playing domain. Like, that looks very frothy.
Mm.
Cheers to you. And cheers to the audience.
Hooah!
So I would, like I said, for the standard sets, definitely use a bit of caution if you're looking at them as financial investments. If you're just doing it for the flavor and you want to go play, have fun with your friends, I'm all about that. I open products, shock face people, huh? I sometimes just open it for the sake of opening it because I want to, right? Yeah, I know it's a busy time of year. Decoy saying that, kids starting school and real life puts people behind.
Absolutely, man.
I feel you.
I hear that.
Lots of people are very busy this time of year with school starting up, and we're going to have to deal with buses again on the way into work and whatnot. And summertime is usually pretty busy for parents, doing family things, and this just kind of ramps right up to the whole school year thing before you settle into your routines. But it's also a great time of year for Magic. So I would like to, if you don't mind, if there's anything else that you really want to cover, like I said, the 2 sets I'm targeting next year, folks, Dominaria Remastered, definitely high on my radar. Very high on my radar now. Lord of the Rings set, personal geek. I love Lord of the Rings. I expect it to be the next Modern Horizons 3. And if you want my hot take, probably very wrong, very medium confidence on this, that's where you're going to see the reprint of the Allied Fetch lands, folks. I think we're going to see Allied Fetch lands reprinted in Lord of the Rings. Maybe with different names, like Lothlorien and that kind of shit. But
I think, that's right? Something I liked that I think Arcane had done that, where they did like the renaming of certain stuff,
Study
was something else. I liked the way that they treated that. Same thing with Godzilla in Ikoria, the way that they renamed some stuff, Luminous Brood Moth and, Mothra, a supersonic queen.
Sure.
I like that. Very tasteful. I'd like to see that same treatment again in Lord of the Rings. I, too, am looking forward to that. I wasn't the biggest, Tolkien head, whatever they want to call themselves, but I really enjoyed the films. I read the books when I was a kid, and I think it would be great to see a tasteful treatment of that in a Magic the Gathering product, and certainly looking forward to that.
I've been hyped about it since they announced it last year, right? They announced that in the lineup last year, in case you don't recall. Just like they announced Ixalan in 2024, returning to Ixalan.
It's funny because as we go through, the lineup that we just saw spans for the next 18 months, maybe a bit longer, in all honesty. And the number of other products that we'll see inserted along the way is just going to be almost laughable. We'll see 2, maybe 3 times as many products come
Oh,
up as what's been announced. There's going to be so many other secret layers and full sets, things here and there that we'll see. I doubt that they're actually slowing down. I don't think this is the full release schedule.
oh no. But
Wouldn't it be wild if it was? Wouldn't that be
Lord of the
something?
Rings is definitely near and dear to me. It's my favorite IP, and I'm a big Star Wars fan, but I'm a bigger Lord of the Rings fan.
It's funny. I actually played the Star Wars TCG when I was growing up. I was almost as much into that as I was into Magic. They had a pretty good, solid base for a card game. That was fun stuff.
Yeah, I would love to see. I would actually love to see Gandalf more like a reskin of Urza. But yeah, but he has to. I wonder if they're going to do like a black version of Gandalf and a white version, because Gandalf the gray, Gandalf the white. I don't know how to do an
Oh,
Orzhov
okay.
Gandalf.
I thought you
Would
meant
be
like make a Teferi the Time Raveler, but he's Gandalf. So like a black dude that is Gandalf.
No. They already have the artwork for Gandalf, but I'm just saying like Orzhov colors and then make him
Yeah.
pure white. At any rate, he has to be a planeswalker. Like he just has to be. If they don't, that would just be dumb. But at any rate, that's the set that I'm targeting the most heavily next year. But I definitely want to have exposure to Dominaria Remastered, which in terms for people, when I get excited about investing in people, it usually it's usually the sets that have super desirable cards for the player base at large out there.
Ooh, I like that pause. Sorry to cut you off there, but that's good. It's a modal face card or, something like that, where when it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed and it's Gandalf the White.
Oh, that would be great. That'd be great. Have him a flip card. And for gray, I guess you just have to make them colorless. Like those weird colorless cards out of the Eldrazi blocks. And there's even a couple of them in Ikoria.
Yeah.
That they're not artifacts, they're just colorless creatures.
Yeah.
So at any rate, that would be interesting. That'd be very interesting to see what they go, where they go with this, what they do with it. But that's certainly the set that I'm going to be targeting. And I know, shock face. I plan to open a shitload of it if it's any good at all. I'm going to open some, even if it's a turd, because I want the art. But if it's any good at all, I am going to open a butt ton of it, and I'm going to have a butt ton of it for sealed. So those are,
I think for me, upcoming sets, and I know it's not until winter of next year, but I want to see some Phyrexians. They touted that horror fans will not be disappointed. And boy, that sounds great. If it's a throwback, I didn't like the card Surgical Extraction for what it did. I don't think it's a very great card anymore in the current meta, but that was gory. That shit was legit. Some really cool dark ritual stuff, some gory, nasty golems. I love seeing some like flesh dripping off of these monstrosities. I want to see some really gross, horrible stuff. Like all the things our mom said we shouldn't be playing with when we were kids. Put that on Magic cards. Like I want to see that kind of stuff. Butchers with like chunks of people stuck to it. That would be awesome. I want to see some really nasty Magic cards. So bring it on. And I would love to see the horror of Phyrexia, laid across the plains for that. I'm looking forward to it. I think the new Time Spiral, as it were, with Dominaria Remastered is going to be a really good addition as well. Those are probably the sets I'm looking forward to in the next couple of months and year or two.
Yeah. So talking about what's coming up, boy, let me see if I have enough of it pulled up to do. Oh no, I closed all of that out. So I'm very excited about an event that's coming up in Las Vegas. The Magic the Gathering 30th. But I'm talking about one of the specific events. Let me see if I can bring it up fast enough. Specifically, I registered for 2 of the events, 2 of the same event, actually. It's the Commander boss fight, right? It's a
Ooh.
variant of Commander. So let me look at the. Oh God.
I mean, if they made Brawl, but where we're all fighting against some big nasty thing, holy
Yes,
moly.
that's what it is. So let me.
Uh,
I'm trying to get to it. So
it's like something we've been talking about literally. Shit. We've been doing this for over a year now, I think. No, we hit 6 months just a little while ago. So we're like 7 months we've been doing cardboard conversations. So thank you all, you diehard fans out there, for joining us week after week for this.
all right. So
Intermittently on
I have the actual event pulled up. I'm going to share it with you here. Oh, why does it do stop screen share? I want to do share. I guess you have to stop sharing before you can share a new one. That's weird.
No, actually,
Yeah,
Brian.
no, on my side it said I had to. It didn't give me
Uh,
the option to pull up the page.
Dominaria
Uh,
Remastered is going to be from any set that had Dominaria as its base or major theme of it. So 27 different sets will actually be combined or drawn from. Also, hi Dave, hi Dave, hi Dave.
So you can, Brian, you can think of Dominaria Remastered as Time Spiral Remastered, but instead of just the Time Spiral block, it's going to be all Dominaria blocks. So going way, way back. So here's the event I wanted to talk about for kind of wrapping up tonight's show a little bit. And I can't believe, Dave, you showed up after listening to me on the phone for 3 hours or so this afternoon. Thanks for showing up. So here we've got the Commander Boss Monster event that's going to be taking place in Las Vegas at Magic 30. This grabbed my attention more. Like I really went. I was going mainly because I wanted to see a beta box drafted in front of me. I've never seen that in the 30 years I've been playing, and I want to see it.
Right?
I've never seen it, so I want to see it at least one time in my life. I will be there witnessing it, watching people crack open a beta box. But this actually has me more excited as a player, and I think this has such far-reaching implications. So we know that Flesh and Blood is in development on a PvE system, and the only way I can even explain that, if you understand MMOs, is it would be like when WoW came out versus, Dark Age of Camelot and EverQuest and Ultima Online that were out years before World of Warcraft came out. But World of Warcraft came out and appealed to the casual players. It was the easy button. They called it the Care Bear server. And within 3 months, they more than tripled
User
EverQuest subscribers within
I
3
played
months
Dark Age
of
of
release.
Camelot when I was in like 8th grade. That shit was not made for kids. Like, that wasn't made for regular people. Yeah,
No.
World of Warcraft and the way that MMORPGs get to the way you interact with other people, it was streamlined. Definitely.
And now it appealed to a more casual player. And what they realized, I think even unintentionally, is that there is a 20-to-1 ratio or more, probably more like 90-to-1 ratio of casual people that will play games compared to hardcore gamers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
PvE in terms of TCGs is far more casually appealing. So if you can tap into a market that has 90 times more people, and I'm basing this off of numbers. I wanted to make a video on it, but I got too lazy. I shared some of it with Decoy. But PvE it's such a big game changer. So if Flesh and Blood does this right, they could dethrone Magic. I know that's a hot take, but there is just such a much bigger target
It's an unclaimed
audience.
market. Absolutely.
It's Magic has kind of dabbled with it a little bit here and there, but no, the first TCG that combines the Gambler's Premium with a PvE environment and can get it right is going to dominate the market.
You should do that.
I think WotC Yeah, I did. I just, for all those that are in the audience, except for Decoy, who kind of has a peek behind the green screen, I haven't even shared it with Pat. I went through. I have graphs showing this stuff. I have, like what happened when WoW took over, and it's the closest thing I can find. I had, interviews with the guy from Ultima Online when they went from the PvP world, which was killing the servers. And if you've ever played games like DayZ or Rust or any of those King of the Hill type games, they quickly devolve into an unfun environment.
Yeah.
I call them PvP fuckfest. That's pretty much you log into a server, kill. Okay, I'm done with this game. I'm out. So anyways,
that's a great thing to talk about, is the way that people interact with each other online and in different formats. Magic the Gathering is purely a competitive thing, but when you play a game like Minecraft and then you go ahead and invite someone else into your solo type experience, and then we get to share that together in a positive manner. We get to fight against the dragon together in these big blocky worlds. And that's something I think that people really cherish nowadays. And that's why that type of thing has grown so much.
So I really think it's a big deal. And, back to the screen that I'm sharing here at the 30th event. So I'll read it here. What it is, it's a commander boss monster. Commander event boss monster. Commander is a commander variant where players are battling against a powerful monster. On the boss monster's turn, roll a d20 and the boss monster casts a powerful spell. Players need a commander legal deck, and it'll be done in 2-round pods of 3 or 4 players. Prizes are per round. But what you can clearly hear, the difference in playing boss monster commander versus normal commander, is you're not playing against the other players. You're playing against a singular boss monster, which would be PvE. It's not 1v many, it's PvE. You're fighting against this event or environment. So, with that being said, I actually started drafting up cards because you have to start thinking, at least I am, at least that's what I'm going to do. I'm going in there with these decks. They're going to be commander legal. And I don't know how to do this best. So hopefully some of you know what the cards are. I don't know. Maybe I could bring up some of the cards, or I guess I'll do that. So I'm going to share a different screen here. Sorry, like I said, I had all this set up beforehand, but I had to restart my computer literally. That's why we were late getting started, because I had some internet connection for some reason issue. So some of these cards you probably have never seen unless you've played Emperor. That's how I knew about some of these cards. Like I literally just got this one in foil. I'm going to share here just momentarily, because you're going to have to be thinking about it differently. How do I benefit my fellow players, right? Even if I benefit the boss monster, how do I benefit my fellow players? Because I'd rather get them going quickly. So I started thinking in those terms. So I'm sorry these aren't going to be huge on the screen. But if you've never seen New Frontiers, each player may search his or her library for up to X basic land cards and put them into play tapped. Right? So everybody on my team, including me, gets to search our library for X land cards and go ahead and put them into play tapped on my turn.
Is that commander legal?
What's that?
Holy shit, that's an incredible card. Bob, that's one of the great things I love. When we talk about Magic, the cards you bring up is just phenomenal. That's great. I would love to play that in a game of Magic. Like in my Edric deck, that right there is a perfect ad. Everybody's getting a draw. Everybody's having a great time.
So here's the next one that I just ordered. And yes, I did order foil versions. Sorry. I bought them before I'm announcing the cards that I'm getting. And I've actually uncovered a lot of cards I didn't even know about. But I knew about this when I played this in my Emperor deck. This does it for lands. Or I'm sorry, for creatures. Only you don't get to put them into play. You get to put them in your hand. But it's basically creature tutors for everybody. Everybody gets to go dig up creature cards, because I was thinking about it. If they said you're rolling the spells that boss monster's casting, this won't benefit him. Like he can only cast what he rolls on his turn.
Bob,
So
that's something
what?
to do with infinite mana. I finally have like an out. This is phenomenal. Weird Harvest. Like these two cards are going in my shit. Like, that's I love it. This is
All right.
great.
So,
And for the
well,
format, this is so beneficial because the way that you're now changing the meta from just benefiting myself, from target player, or you get to, it's everybody I'm fighting with together. Instead of having a drought for yourself, everyone gets to take a big swig.
so I'll let you go ahead and read this one, Pat, and then apply it to that to the same
So
scenario.
instead of paying the casting cost for a spell of any color, its caster may choose and discard a card that shares at least one color with that spell. If that spell has X in its casting cost, X is 0. That's real nice, especially because I'm assuming the way that this is going to work out is the entity that you're fighting isn't so much going to be holding a hand the same way
Right.
that you would normally experience. So I love that. This is, to me, Bob, just what we've been talking about for months on end. And to see it in some way, in some form, come to a minor fruition is just palpably great.
Oh, I have a feeling that they inserted this event specifically to get a finger on the pulse of how interested people are in PvE.
I really thought you were going to say they added specifically this event because we've talked about it so much.
I doubt they've ever even heard our names, Pat. So I'm just going to bring up a few more, and I would love to have the audience, kind of feedback. Please leave in the comments. If you can think of more cards, I'm not going to go through all like 20 cards I have here, but I'm kind of like showing like different ways of starting to think about Magic and thinking about it in terms of PvE. Like most of you should know this card. You've probably seen it. Very political. And so you can apply that same logic to any political card. Like, hey, this is going to benefit me, but it'll benefit you all too. It'll benefit me more. So all those, it benefits me more, but benefits you too cards.
Druid of Purification. And everybody gets to choose the entity to pick on, right? Because it would constantly go around and everyone gets to choose something to destroy or that I don't control. Okay, so everyone gets to screw around with the boss. I think this is a great little add to that as well. So if you down there in the comment section, if you're watching this later on, let us know. We'd love to add into this by talking to you. So please indulge us by indulging yourself. For the low price of nothing, you can have a great time. Oh, Howling Mine. Good golly, you know what it is. Yeah.
Consecrated Sphinx.
Wait, it's like what's the opposite of the new Shieldred card? We're like, if you draw a card, you get to gain life and draw another card. Like, oh shit, even Edric. If you attack one of my opponents, you get to draw a card. Cool. My opponent is this big fucking boss. Let's go, boys.
Oh, why did it not? Oh, because I misspelled it because I'm a dummy. Maybe because I had a drink. I need another drink. I'm like out. So a card that everybody hates, but will love in this format.
Good old Ristic.
Oh, you're going to play a spell? You're going to pay one? Hell no.
That's
Mystic
a great
Remora. So, just start thinking in terms of this. Mystic Remora, Smothering Tithe. Oh my God. Why am I blanking? Esper Sentinel. Yeah,
it's phenomenal the way that you can go ahead and by interacting with your compatriots, you can go ahead and work against the meta by changing the way that these cards function, which I think is one of the things that's great about Commander. When you go ahead and change it from a single to a multiplayer format, the way that things changed. And by go ahead and changing it from 4 people are now going ahead and fighting this boss, holy moly, it's just something new. I'm getting like tingly hairs just thinking about this.
So here's one I even own, but I've never heard of. I have the precons.
Whoa.
Right? I'm like, holy shit. Okay, yeah, that's definitely going in. And guess who my commander is? Let's see if anybody can guess who my commander is so far. Oh, but you're missing. No, I think I've showed all the colors: white, green, and blue. Guess who my commander is going to be? And there might be a better one, and I'm certainly willing to listen to it if there is a better one out there. Here's another
So,
great one.
Rites of Flourishing, 2 and a green. Enchantment. At the beginning of each player's draw step, they draw an additional card. Each player may play an additional land on each of their turns. So it's not just a benefit me, it's a benefit you, him, and her. Along with Heartbeat of Spring. For 2 and a green, you also get an enchantment. Whenever a player taps a land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of that type that it produced to his or her pool. Is going to be the errata. Yeah, pause. I can't read it. Oh, shit. I thought it just said I can't read. I was like, God, fucking pause. Just because you're from Vermont doesn't mean you can't read. I've seen you do it.
This basically turns into Mirari's Wake for everybody. Again, it's just thinking in those lines. Like I'll be playing with the Howling Golem, which has been considered like a shitty card, but not now. If you're familiar with Howling Golem, it's when you attack or block, everybody draws a card.
Oh,
so yeah, and that's just the way that I'm going with all this. Okay, how can I do as many triggering for everybody beneficial effects as possible? Here's one I had totally forgotten about, and I never used it because I'm like, oh, that kind of sucks. The Genesis Chamber. So, if you're not familiar with Genesis Chamber, whenever a non-token creature comes into play, if Genesis Chamber is untapped, that creature's controller puts a 1/1 mirror artifact token into play.
Oh, fuck, Bob. Dude, Genesis Chamber and like Soul Warden is just like broke as shit. Like, you know how much life you're going to gain? Oh my God.
Well, I'm going to play a life gain deck. I'm going to have Aetherflux Reservoir. I am going to play Angelic Chorus and Sarah Avatar and Soul of Eternity.
This is so ridiculous. I've had Genesis Chamber.
See how excited you are about this? And you probably weren't even thinking. You were probably thinking in your own head, okay, Bob's got some crazy shit. I'll entertain him.
Oh, dude, no, this is phenomenal. This is like we're friends. Like this kind of stuff, our shared passion. Phenomenal. I wish I had other people in my area scared to do D&D like this. So that's something I would love to do a side talk about some night is D&D. This new one Dungeons and Dragons looks like it's going to be a digital format. Oh boy.
Well, it's my daughter's actually already told me she was it's Dungeons and Dragons Beyond or something, and it's out now. You can go download it.
I've heard that, yeah. During the preview event that they had there, they said that it's now available for the first packet of trial. So I'm probably going to be doing that. I was drinking coffee.
We should do it together. We should play some D&D together, man. I'll do some D&D.
Oh,
as long as you don't make me do any cosplay, acting. That's not my gig, and I don't really enjoy it when other people are doing it at the table. I don't hate people for doing it. I just don't enjoy it.
Well, that's the thing is I'm not doing any funny voices, and I expect none of that shit from anybody. All I want is for people to show up and have a good time together. And I've DM'd 3 times. I've never played as an actual PC. So
I don't even mind people doing voices, but when you're requiring everybody at the table to be in character for you to no.
Oh, fuck that noise. It's not like we're recording The Pianist. Okay, this isn't, we're not on set. We're not doing that jazz. I want to have a good time with some friends, pretending to live in this world. And one of the things that we do when we live in this world is look at great Magic cards like Dictate of Crewfix. For 1 and 2 blue pips, you get a flash enchantment. At the beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws an additional card. Yeah. Not too shabby. It's pretty dang good.
For this commander
price
format, everybody gets to draw extra cards on top of Howling Mine. So your hands are going to be full. You're going to have plenty of mana. do stuff. Like, I hope y'all are doing stuff. So, and I love the fact that, and I think people should be thinking in terms of this for this event. And if it starts getting wider spread, here is the commander that makes so many people fucking salty, but it is absolutely going to be my commander.
So I just realized what it's not going to be, but I just thought of a thing. Quain Itinerant Meddler.
Oh, he's on my list.
Okay, cool. I can't think of who's gonna. Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Chulane?
Yes.
This is the one. Okay, so Chulane, Teller of Tales. For 2, a green, a white, and a blue, you get a 2/4 legendary creature that's a human druid with vigilance. Whenever you cast a creature spell, draw a card. Then you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. A 3 and a taparoo for return target creature you control to its owner's hand. That's pretty slick.
So what that means is I'm going to be getting to my cards quickly. People hate him. So I need to get some ETB effects so that I can bounce the creatures like Meteor Golem. Yeah, the Sarah. So my win con for this deck, what it's going to be, just so you all know it, it's going to be Aetherflux Reservoir combined with, if you're not familiar with Angelic Chorus, I sent one to Paws Brown. He's the only person I've sent one of my vintage cards to. On my personal collection that I opened back in the day. So this is one piece.
Oh, such a gorgeous looking card. I love this old artwork here.
It adds to your life total the toughness of a creature that comes into play under my control. Understand, I'm going to have a bounce theme, folks. I'm going to have blinking, bouncing theme to gain life in ridiculous amounts.
Oh, hey, Bob. So I got a card for you. Storm Herd. It's one of like my pet cards. Absolutely love it. It's super dumb and ridiculous, but when you play Storm Herd, you know you just like won the game. Oh, look at this artwork. Goodness gracious.
So just so people can keep following.
Good old Sarah Avatar.
Sarah Avatar, power and toughness equal to your life total. So when you have Angelic Chorus in play and you play Sarah Avatar, it's going to double your life immediately, and that's the toughness of Sarah Avatar. With Chulane, I'm going to bounce her. And I'm also going to have blink effects, ephemerates.
Huh?
That card from D&D, the teleportation circle. So every time it leaves and comes back into play, it's going to double up my life total.
So tasty.
And then I win. We'll get to your herd here in just a second. If you're not familiar with it, everybody should be.
Good. Top stuff.
So,
and if you haven't, you should stay tuned to Bob's channel. He's got some deck techs every once in a while. These things are hot stuff. Check them out.
So once I've got a good 250 life or whatever the boss monster's health is.
Right. Clang, clang, clang went the trolley against its health total with Aetherflux Reservoir. This thing's such a beast. Hey, TCG dude, how you doing, brother?
So if he's got 200 life, fine. I just put Sarah Avatar into play 3-4 times in a row, bounce it, get up to 250 life, boom, 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 Aetherflux, goodbye. So that's the win con in my Chulane deck, is to try to get to creatures and try to get my life total up as high as possible while putting cards in people's hands. Oh, like the Weird Harvest, going and getting my Sarah Avatar, doubling up my mana, Howling Mine, putting extra lands into play. Yeah, that's how I see this deck rolling, while all at the same time helping my fellow board members. So, sorry, you were saying you had heard of the
Storm Herd. Now, I don't know how I came across this card. I think it was on a top 10 cards that win all by themselves, and it's just a big dumb card. If you can play this for 8 and 2 white, it's a sorcery. Put X 1/1 white Pegasus creature tokens with flying into play, where X is your life total. Nice. So if you can afford it, this just gets big and dumb.
I like it. Though it is 10. But, with that deck, doubling up the mana, that means it's actually 5.
Yeah, and it's far more helpful than like an Ulamog for most instances.
So those are the terms that I'm thinking about. I hope, that I haven't put everybody to sleep with the deck tech for the Vegas event. If we could just go back to that one more time with the deck tech. I'm not sure how to share that again. I gotta stop sharing one screen. It's kind of clunky the way I have to do it. I know you can share multiples, but I only have the option to share one screen at a time.
Oh, I'm not very good at this yet. I had the hardest time figuring out how to share that screen and then still go back and like talk to you guys.
So I mean, I literally only have when I click on the share, it doesn't give me an option. I have to stop sharing before I can share another. So just start thinking in these terms, because I have a feeling we might see this style of event rolling around at each of the events this year, at each of the different cons that they have. And if this goes well, I think that they're paying attention to this, and I think this is going to go well. I'm going to be covering it. I'm in 2 of these Commander Boss events when I'm there. The only other event that I'm in is a collector pack draft. It's like a Chaos collector pack draft. So I'm very, very excited about this event when I'm going to be in Vegas. I will certainly be doing an after video. I'm going to try to get permission to record it so I can share the event with you guys to show you how it goes. We'll see, but I will certainly at least give an after report on an after action report on these events and see if they played as well as I thought or how the specific mechanics work. But it certainly seems to me like they're dipping their toes in the PvE world.
It's just incredible. I'm just so excited, and I would absolutely love if you had the opportunity to actually record, or geez Louise, if you even had the ability, God's good grace and whatnot, if you could actually live stream an event like that, I bet it would just be
I wouldn't count on that in most conventions.
I'd personally pull in some strings. I'd call in a favor or two just for you on that.
Yeah, usually internet sucks horribly at those conventions because everybody's trying to get on it all at the same time. So yeah, I would imagine it would be impossible to stream. Maybe. But I don't even know about battery packs. I'm sure the battery is probably not going to be a fast event. Probably drain my battery before I get a chance. But at any rate, it's something to look forward to. I'll do my best to do a report on it, and maybe do a video when I get back specifically on these. I'm definitely going to do a video on it and talk about how the whole thing went, and maybe try to play through some of the highlights.
Me too, Dave. Me too.
I feel bad that you guys feel jealous, and I feel really sad that you guys can't make it. I would love to see you all there. Absolutely would love it. That would be the cherry on the top of the shake there. To see you all there. I would love to share the experience. I'm so grateful. I'm going with my co-host Matt. Got some fun stuff lined up. So I'll try to give a lowdown on how the whole event goes, not just the Commander Boss monster fights, but the beta draft, everything, the environment. I'm going to be in a special Unfinity event with Mark Rosewater. I'm going to be in the command zone, probably with Jimmy Wong and Josh Lee Kwai. I got the VIP access to who knows who's going to be there. So, we'll do the best we can to share the experience with you guys as much as we can. I'll certainly be talking about it here on Cardboard Conversations on my own channel, and just trying to share. I'm just an average guy like you guys. Dave can attest. I'm just a normal, nameless face out there in the crowd, just another social security number in Americana here. And hopefully I can share an exceptional event with you guys. So that would be my intent for all of this. But start thinking of it, right? Well, they don't let us take pics. That's what it says on the thing. No pictures or video or streaming without express written consent. I'm like, well, you suck. So I'm going to try to get written consent or however the fuck they do it, or maybe they just don't give a shit. It's like a speed limit. Kind of it's there. But we'll see. They're probably going to care more about like the pandemic protocols and face masks and all that shit than they will about people recording stuff and taking pictures.
Worst, but also the best. Imagine thousands of Magic the Gathering players and you don't have something to protect you from their smell. Especially in like Vegas heat.
Oh no, it's going to be beautiful. The end of October, it's got beautiful weather out there.
It's going to be
really
beautiful weather. Just thinking about the pungency of garlic and onion in an enclosed space.
We all know that Magic players are nasty fuckers. You know, that you're dirty, nasty, didn't take a shower, stayed up all night, drank till irresponsible time, ate some really bad spicy shit on the way in, and now you're going to sit across the table and burp at me.
And because you're in Vegas, some of them will literally be coming in smelling like whorehouses.
Oh, they're going to have stripper dust all over them.
Their beards will smell like vagina and lost dreams.
No doubt. And bad food.
Oh my god.
No, I know, Decoy. I know it's a surprise, but WotC doesn't know I exist. And they could care less. But
lost dreams. I had a bad experience once. Man. Went to a strip club with my cousin. Shouldn't have gone. Was in the wrong headspace. Changed things forever.
Yeah, that sounds like a start to a bad story.
Yeah.
So, I appreciate everybody showing up here tonight. Please, if you have any thoughts on the Boss Monster, we'll revisit this since we have time before Vegas. I will, if you guys are interested, I don't know, would you guys like to see a deck reveal of what I'm going to take to Vegas for this event?
I mean, I'm personally so into this.
And see, if we can figure out the event, right? If I can figure out how they're doing the Boss Monster, this can come to a spell table near you. This is something I would absolutely do for like a channel spell table kind of event. You, me, and Matt versus Boss Monster on a Saturday cardboard conversation.
And that's if you can just describe the play pattern that you had, I think we could figure out some way to recreate this. Like, so my job, I hang out with like programmers for half of my day. So, oh man, this would be incredible. I think there's some way we could figure this out. I would love to do this, Bob, so hard.
Oh, that's see. That's why when I saw it, I was like, I'm doing that. That thing. I'm doing that in Vegas. Like, fuck all these other things that, like, the vintage drafts and all this. I'm like, no, I'm doing this one. This is the thing that I want. So I registered in 2 of them. I hope Matt and I get to play on the same team.
That would be.
Because he's also registered in them. What's that?
That would be incredible, especially if you could ask to be like on a certain pod.
We'll see. I don't know how it's going to roll, folks. I don't know how big this thing is going to be. I don't know. Yeah, my voice is probably just going to be a fart in a hurricane. They won't hear me. Yeah, like just some dude.
Yeah, but
I'm hoping.
Imagine you're paired up with like you, Josh, Lee Kwai, and then like some rando. It's like, okay, take that. You, him, and some Floridian.
So if you could pick like one celebrity you think would be there that you would like to play with, who would it be?
Honestly, probably Posty. That guy seems great.
He's high on my list, absolutely. But that would be more kind of like starstruck. Absolutely.
A lot of things, not just your list.
I think if you want to win, or at least watch somebody else win, you pair up with Josh Lee Kwai. You probably watch him win.
Lady Danger. Even if Kibler shows up, that guy's great at Magic. He's fun enough. Shit, I'd play with the dudes from I Hate Your Deck. Either of those would be fine. Lynch, that'd be great.
I'll be honest with you. The one that I would want to play with most would probably be Kenobi.
All right.
no offense to anybody else out there, but he's like the top of my list of somebody that I would absolutely just love to sit down and play Commander with.
Dude, I'm just imagining Mike shows up, fucking perps. He shows up, and then all of a sudden you're sick.
Oh man.
Ugh.
I don't know what I would do in that case. But I mean, I would love to play with anybody. I'd love to have you there. I'd love to play with Moxman there. You know, I would love. I love how salty Jimmy Wong used to get. He no longer gets like super salty. I miss that.
Exactly. You don't
but you're not, Dave. You're playing against the boss. I'm talking about playing this boss monster. Who would you like to have on your team? If you could pick a celebrity lineup and just one other person, who would you pick to be on your team? And I was just saying, I would love to have Kenobi on there. So, just kind of like this is like those, kind of stoner cloud shapes kind of discussion there. We've kind of digressed at this point of the evening. We're at the tail end of our drinks, tail end of the evening.
Yo, for sure.
But I would love to have in there. I would love to play with you and Matt against the boss monster. But if I can somehow replicate that, Nikachu doesn't like Commander. He's not a Commander player.
It's not competitive. Not enough for him.
And don't get me wrong, Nikachu is one of my 3-man crushes. I love you and Pat. But I do have man crushes. There are 3 of them. One of them is the guy who made the deck boxes for MTG Attitude that I gave him as a thank you for him sending me a Christmas gift last year. If you didn't see that video of me opening up the packs from BBD last year, holy shit. Hallelujah. Where's the Tylenol? That was an amazing pack opening experience, and y'all should catch it. If you want to see Gaming Bob almost die on camera, go watch that one. Like, I think my face turned so red by the end of that, it looked like I had a sunburn. It was out of control. And I was so grateful. I sent him some boxes. I had custom, what do you call that when you have somebody make some shit for you? I had them custom made for him.
Yeah, I got to see those when Dave kicked my ass wicked early in my Commander career. Oh. And Dave, I just want to say, my decks now would really hold up. I think Bob, your filter's still on, so that looks super magical.
But this is the deck box. It's leather. It's similar. He makes custom things on it, like MTG. You know what? I am gonna just go ahead and turn off the filter for a hot second. Which device is this? I don't know which device it is. Hold on. I gotta take the chroma key filter off. Is that better?
Wicked better. Okay.
So that's the back side of the box that my buddy had made. Of course, my degenerate colors. I love Simic. So he custom put these on, and this is one of his first. There's his maker stamp on there, and I had some really sweet looking custom ones made for BBD. If you get a chance to look at them, anyways, the guy that made these, one of my man crushes for sure. Actually, God, I don't want to say this, but there's another one of my man crushes is in the audience. I'm sorry, guys, but I am taken. Sherry Vegas is my better partner in life. She buys me all kinds of expensive Magic cards. I love her. I love her even if she didn't buy me Magic cards. And the third man crush is actually Nikachu, because as Pat can attest, when we talk to that dude, first off, grateful that a guy with that kind of clout was willing to come talk on Cardboard Conversations.
Things like I didn't understand when I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, do you want to be on my podcast?" He was like, "Yeah, sure." I double checked the email another time. I was just like,
you're wondering if you're getting catfished.
Yeah, I was like, am I getting trolled? Is this just gonna be like, oh man, my cousin shows up and he's like, oh, look at me, I'm on the Magic the Gathering.
But no, what people don't understand, before the show, like, he showed up responsibly ahead of time to get the tech details worked out. He stayed for what, an hour and a half after the show?
Yeah, absolutely.
Chit chatting, bullshitting with us.
Just hanging.
What a genuinely good dude.
Yeah,
Like,
he was giving us like pointers on how we did lighting and stuff, like our audio, the way that we interacted with audiences. It was just a phenomenal time. Great guy.
yeah, I mean, he's just, he loves this shit. He's knowledgeable. He's humble. When he doesn't know something, he doesn't pull shit out of his ass and like, I'm the great Nikachu, and
Yeah.
he was a pro tour player. He was on the pro tour.
Yep.
It's super smart, honest, non-pretentious is the best way I could describe him. That kind of shit goes a long way with me. And we've got one of those in the audience. I'll call him out right now. Decoy. What an amazing human being.
Oh,
So much respect.
I still have beers.
Cheers to you, buddy. But a lot of respect for genuine, real people. And you guys probably will never get a chance to meet Decoy, but just I'm impressed. He's an impressive human being. And it's the same thing with Nikachu, same thing with my buddy who made these boxes. All of them got their shit together. They're just enviable people when you meet. Like just when you meet people, you're like, I like that dude. That's all these guys are just like that. They're all I wish I was likable like that. Like, I'm a pretty smart dude. I know some shit. I say good things. One thing I hate hearing a lot is like, oh, you're not wrong, or that's a good question, Rob, or that's a good point, Rob, or that it's like, okay, I get it, right? But that doesn't help answer the question that I have. That doesn't like, but I hear that a lot, so I get it. My blessings in life are to be accurate, to be analytical, to see things. May not be the most personable. Thank you all for taking the time to invest in me. Pat especially should pat himself on the back. I can be a handful. I could be a tough pill to swallow. But if you stick with it long enough, hopefully you end up on the plus side of the ledger. Better off with either information or being entertained, one of the two. So Nikachu is definitely one of those, man crush kind of people that if you meet him, y'all should subscribe. If you haven't checked out his channel,
he's
just
fun.
Good. I mean, just top shelf dude. So there it is. I'll tell you what, like Decoy, just for you guys to know, he just recently got into Magic. Wasn't into Magic at all. And we've been talking investing for years. Like, we're probably more akin to like talking investing kind of stuff and where to go money and whatnot. And are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? But
love it.
He's picked up on all of the Magic concepts that I throw down faster than anybody I know. Like, he just gets it, absorbs it like a sponge, turns around, uses it, sometimes points shit out to me. And I was, his Mr. Miyagi, like, only for a short period of time, because he's up to speed. He didn't know much about Magic itself or care about it. But let me tell you, he's got his finger on the pulse of Magic investing. And, he gets it. He knows what makes sets tick. And if he doesn't know specific information, he's humble enough to ask. Like, that's the perfect person to try to coach in how to get into Magic. Because we hear it. How many times do you see that, like, on somebody else's channel? Where do I get started? We don't see a lot of people asking that here. I don't know why. Maybe we just don't have enough people. But I see it all the time in Moxman's channel, on Jake and Joel or Magic, on Perf's channel. Where do you recommend I start Magic investing and whatnot? Where they'll say something stupid like, what set should I start investing in? It's like, oh God, that's stop, time out. Yeah. This is a much longer conversation. Just like one of the things I told Decoy, one of the last times he was over here and we were talking about it, and he's grabbing concepts and he said, so I should target set boxes, right? And he's like, okay, so I should target set boxes for the sets and the collector boxes. And I turned around and I told him, he could probably tell you right now. I said, Magic investing is not a one size fits all, right? I could give you an answer to, what do you do with $200 right now? Honestly, you buy a set box of Modern Horizons 2 over at Prodigy. It would be the simple answer, but that's giving a man a fish, right? You're not teaching him to fish. And I taught what I know to Decoy, and he picked up like that.
Yeah.
I wish all the conversations I had with people in chat went as swimmingly, as smoothly, because it's like I don't have to explain it to them. So it's easy. I mean, just it's impressive to see somebody wrap their head around something foreign. Understand, I've been in Magic for 30 fucking years, and he picked up on things that took me years to wrap my head around. So that's impressive. So kudos to Mr. Decoy in the audience tonight. And I wish that, you know, a lot of people had that ability, but that's the reason he does so well in life, because he is sharp, does put shit together. And he's humble enough to say, you know, his comment is, I'm still way behind, you know. Again, you know, humility in it. Yeah, well, you know, next time we see each other, you know, maybe I'll go to Lake. Oh my God, sometime. Oh my God, whatever it's called. Mama God.
Oh my God.
Lumba Jaya Bumble God. I don't know.
Lake Jumblegog. Gumblegog. Mumberger. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, it's Magic, and I'll just say this: if you could walk away with anything tonight, remember, Magic is not a one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
Past performance is not a predictor of future success. You know that you have to. It takes intelligent thought and analysis behind every product, just like anything. I hate to say it, there's not an easy button. Not with anything. There we go. Oh my God, nerd all.
Oh my God.
So,
what's funny is how much closer to me that is than like anything we have talked about this whole fucking time. Like, yeah, that sounds like it's in the middle of nowhere. Do you know where I fucking live, people? Like, that's like 45 minutes away from me, maybe. Like,
God. That's awesome. So yeah, I mean, we did a video last week talking about Vegas and whatnot on Cardboard Conversations on my channel. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, please do. If you're going to Vegas, study up on it, folks. It's an overwhelming place to go.
It's just gonna be a wild ride, bro.
It's not just, you know, Magic that you're going to be hustling for. Realize when you go to Vegas, that is a very different town. You know, it is. It's a lot to process, and a lot of people aren't used to that pace of life. I lived there for 8 years, and I can tell you, it's a sensory overload. You're going to be kind of deer in headlights, figuring out where to eat, how to get around. It's bigger than you think it is. Like, it is, even if you've been to a casino, don't think of it that way. This is you know, it's a amusement park of casinos, and each casino is the size of an amusement park. You know, it's huge, folks. So Vegas in itself can be overwhelming, and you're going to be on a schedule. It's going to be a place that people don't generally know. It's down off the end of the strip. It's, you know, there's going to be a lot to this. So if you're going, be prepared.
You know, drugs are legal. Traffic is heavy. Everything's hot. It's going to be an incredible change for everybody involved. It's going to be a pretty awesome time. Honestly,
if you're a first-time Vegas traveler, I really recommend watching as much YouTube. You know, I've been watching it, and I lived there for 8 years because I left there 15 years ago. I need to get a finger on the pulse of how is it now? You know, what's changed? What's different from what I expected?
I was very proud of that beer pour, and I didn't hear anybody say anything, and that was just the biggest letdown. I mean, I did that for the camera and everything. Man, look, whatever. I'm just gonna drink it all anyways. Fuck everybody else.
So yeah, it's hopefully going to be a great time. But if you're going to that, you know, be prepared.
It's going to be a great time.
You know, Scout's motto for Magic: be prepared, do your homework, study. Yes, it's fun, but if you're concerned about the money, and I'm going to repeat that again. If you're concerned about the money, just like anything, you don't just throw money at your 401k without doing any kind of research and go, there you go. And you don't call your investor up and say, put it in anything, just whatever. You do your homework. You know what investments you want to put your money in. You don't just buy any house in a town. You go look at the house, do the homework on the house. You look at the tax structure. You look at the schools. You look at the crime rates. You know, you look at the highway access and shopping and all that shit when you go to buy a home. You go there a couple of times at night, at day, because you want to see, like, is there, gang of hoodlums that hangs out at night? Is it, next to like a kid's ad hoc playground, when you're trying to sleep early in the morning? It's, so just like anything in life that you want to attach value to, you have to be able to do the homework if you want a good result in things. You got to invest the time if you want something done well. So if you want to have a great experience in Vegas or
I'm sorry, I'm
the
just
next
RVs so that we could possibly rent an RV. So I live like an hour north of Paws, and we both live like an hour or two north of Dave. So if we rented an RV, shit, we could do a car. That would only be like a couple of $100 maybe altogether for gas. Depending on how big, fat, and nasty we are, we could just sleep in the car.
Are you talking about for Vegas?
Yeah.
Oof. Parking that thing would be a nightmare.
Oh, yeah. See, fucking Honda Civic. See, that's the thing, Dave. This might be like a next year kind of thing if we plan it out correctly. October is a crunch.
Next year, if we're going to try to get an event going, I would very much like to target
Gen Con.
Gen Con.
Yeah.
Very much like to target Gen Con next year.
And with some of the D&D releases coming out in the next couple of months, the way they're revamping that, and also there are absolutely huge AAA unannounced Magic the Gathering events. Hands down, everything we have seen from Magic the Gathering's Wizards of the Coast has presented us with only entry stuff. They are saying this is the beginning of the celebration to the 30th event. So realistically, next year, we're going to see huge, incredible things coming along with in-person events. And Dave, we'll make it fucking happen. How's that? Next year, me, you, Bob, and Dave, 3 of us motherfuckers, we're meeting up next year. How's that? 2023 handshake? Make that shit happen.
But Lance will also be there. He already said he already committed to being there. Gen Con 2023.
Well, that's gonna be
he
great.
lives in Indianapolis.
Wait, from what used to be Cothert Guards?
Yeah. He lives in Indianapolis. By the way, that's where Gen Con is. What's that?
I thought he was Canadian.
No.
Oh,
he lives
no
in
shit.
Indianapolis.
Oh, man, my boy lives in Indiana. Like, I just saw him today. God damn. Well, okay. The world is way smaller than we think. Like, I'm friends with people 13 hours in, like, time zones away. Yeah, shit's wild, man.
Gen Con. Now, here's the thing about Gen Con. So I will explain this to you guys. Ooh. Gen Con is, and I've been there before, and wow. Talk about having to commit early. If you want a good... So I looked at this year at potentially going.
Yeah, Dave.
And I'm on the email list for that, for like hotel rooms, because I know when I went there, we decided kind of late, like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks before the event is when I bought the tickets and got the hotel room the last time I went with Sherry Vegas. And we had to get a room 30 minutes out of town. So if possible, you want to be in a hotel that has like one of the sky bridges. If you've never been in downtown Indianapolis, their convention center has a multiplex of hotels connected to it. And each, it's like spider webs going out from the convention center. There's even a mall connected to it, like a full-on mall.
Yeah.
You have to get your room immediately when they announce that they have the special deals for the hotel rooms for Gen Con. Like, they announce it. It's sold out of all the rooms for that, like, within 15 minutes.
I believe it, though.
Like, now understand, there's going to be hotel rooms, but those hotel rooms...
Wisconsin.
So, what's that?
Where the fuck is Wisconsin?
No, it's not Wisconsin. It's not in Wisconsin. Gen Con left Wisconsin a long time ago. It's now in
Oh,
Indianapolis
it's has been held continuously in Indianapolis.
for a
Duh.
long time. It started in Wisconsin, but it moved to Indianapolis some time ago. So at any rate,
It's
what I'm
Indiana.
saying is, and y'all need to listen to this if you have any intention of going to Gen Con.
Right, Dave.
So getting the hotel rooms, so you're going to want to sign up like now to be notified as soon as, I think Gen Con just ended. You're going to want to be notified immediately as soon as they open the hotel rooms up for booking. And those hotel rooms open up like in January, but Gen Con's not till August. So you book the room, and the reason you want to book it through them is they get the rooms at like $225 or $250 a night, I think, per person. But if you try to do it on your own and you don't get in their little booking thing, those rooms, the cheap ones, end up being like $400 to $500 a night per person.
God damn.
Right. So you want to get the ones like you could probably handle $225 a night.
Yeah.
But if you don't get them in that short booking window, expect to pay double. Right? Like you can look like a normal weekend, you can get a hotel room there when it's not Gen Con for like $175 out of the same hotels. But Gen Con weekend, those prices go up to $500 a night per room.
Yeah.
For anything downtown.
Motherfuckers will pay it.
So and you want to do that so you don't have to lug your shit on like a, because there's parking is just non-existent at Gen Con. So you got to park in a lot near the Lucas Oil Stadium and then take one of those little shuttle buses. You know, so you're paying $15 to park in like some gravel parking lot that just has chain link fences around it. And then you stand in line to wait to get on one of these little cramped ass shuttle buses that only travels every 30 minutes. And that's if it's not full and you have to wait for the next one, you know, to and from Lucas Oil Stadium. Either that or you can hike it like 5 miles to your car. It's like, trust me, you want to be staying at one of the rooms there. It's just a way to do it. And, you know, pay the extra because you're going to pay in the extra anyways and like parking fees and all that shit if you don't get one of the rooms downtown. So, yeah, like I said, better off just, you know, being ahead of the game. If you know you're going to go, get on that mailing list for Gen Con for as soon as they announce the hotel room bookings. That's the thing you're going to want to do because then you can figure out from there what events you want to go to. It's overwhelming. Like if you've never heard of, what is it called? Real Dungeon, I think, or something like that. It's live action D&D that you play with the group. And what they do, if you've never heard of Lucas Oil Stadium, that's where the Indianapolis Colts play. But they take over Lucas Oil Stadium.
What, hockey?
No, football.
Is that the one with the white one? I'm fucking with you, Bob.
So they take over Lucas Oil Stadium and they set up a live action, almost like escape room dungeon style thing.
It's like LARPing.
Yeah, it's kind of, but you don't have to like role play. You're like solving puzzles. It's more like an escape room, is from what I saw. But it looked really cool. It was expensive as shit, like $50 or $75 a person for like a, I don't know, 30-minute round or something. And you're in with a group of people and you have these quests that you have to beat to get through the whole dungeon kind of thing. It was really cool. Live action real dungeon. I can't remember what it's called. You should look it up. It's really fucking cool. They have like giant animatronic dragons and shit.
Wait, we've been going for like 2.5 hours here. I'm gonna have to wind down here pretty soon. It does sound interesting though. Love to throw.
Anyways, Gen Con. Like I said, the important part about that is be on the mailing list. Be prepared for it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's not just like Magic the Gathering products coming up. It's also Magic the Gathering events. It's like anything in life. You know, if you want to go ahead and do something interesting, you know, might have to save up, plan. You know, if you get time off from work, save up some time, save up some money as well. That's how this shit works, you know. Be a grown up. It's not just investing into your product for the future, it's investing into your future, you know, to be productive. Go out, meet some friends, have a good time, make an experience, live your fucking life, you know, travel to the other side of the country, have a great time. Do it. Make shit happen. Get on an airplane.
Yeah. Hell, you know, for all those out there that can hear this, that have the interest in meeting us up at Gen Con next year, let us know. We'll try to we'll try to organize something if that's something that people want to do, to meet up with us, play some Commander or what the hell ever. There's a lot to do at Gen Con. Or just to sit down and shoot and shoot the shit with us. Let us know. But yeah, I'm gonna call it tonight. I'm out of booze. I'm at the bottom of my drink.
Yeah, I'm on like my third tall boy, so I've been doing work.
I'm old.
Well, hey, on that note, until next week, thank you for being here. Not just you, Bob, but everybody out there in the audience. Until next time, you take care. Love y'all. Be well.
Go buy Triomes.